Well, you lot, check it out, look. Check it out. I'm speaking like a fellow American. No, I'm only joking. That's what you lot saying it. Check it out, man, check it out. No, I'm only messing around. This is coming along well now. Look, I gave it a little bit of a clean, bit of a degrease on the shell. Quite happy with how that's come out, to be honest. I don't like these wheels. I think they're ugly, man. They don't go well with it at all, but it's all in the name of trying to save the good old cross ones. Anyway, look, got the head off. I was playing around with it a little while ago, and I thought to myself, I'll just check the head bolts just to make sure that there's nothing untoward, you know, make sure they're all nice and tight. Well, I found that two of them are a little bit worse for wear, in the way of a little bit rounded, and I thought I think I'll get them out while I can, because I don't want them to round off completely. Then I've got to mess around drilling the heads off and everything like that. So I've got two good ones and two that I need to find replacements for. But I thought you might find this interesting. Now, there's nothing wrong with this engine. It seems to be perfectly fine, but there's something interesting that you can actually see happening, which indicates it's got a small amount of wear on the sleeve or the liner, whichever you prefer to call it. I prefer liner, but I know some of you call them sleeves. So there's a fair amount of wear on that, and possibly on the piston as well. So if we look here, we've got the inlet port on that side, and then we've got the exhaust port there. So if we look at this, we should be able to see. Oh, you can't see. I've got to add a little bit more oil. Look, I was oiling everything up. There's nothing wrong with this engine. There's nothing that makes me want to do anything about it. It's perfectly fine. However, for those of you that are interested in engines, and for those of you that are quite new to engines, you might not understand how this works. So I thought this would be a cool thing to show. So look on the inlet port. Can you see those bubbles? Now those bubbles are because the seal between the piston and the liner isn't good enough anymore, because it's worn away. Now, there shouldn't be any leakage before the piston reaches the slot, you know, the port. Now this is the exhaust side. Now you'll notice that the exhaust shows first. Can you see the exhaust port just starting to show? There's the exhaust port. And then on the other side, the inlet port hasn't yet been uncovered. That's because the exhaust gases are now flowing out, but we're not yet introducing any more air and fuel. We keep going. Now we're starting to introduce more air and fuel. Crankcase pressure plus vacuum from the exhaust gases going out is sucking in the new fuel and air. And obviously now it's gone. Anyway, what I was trying to show is, I wasn't trying to give you a lesson on how engines work as such. I was trying to just show that you can tell that this particular liner is slightly worn, because there's a break in the seal, and you didn't see it that time. There's a break in the seal before the port is uncovered, and you can see the bubbles. There you go. And the port's still not uncovered. So I just thought that was interesting. Again, it means absolutely nothing in the way of the health of that engine to me. Yeah, I don't care about that. For me, if an engine is running, it's good enough. Yeah, and that engine runs perfectly fine. But as I say, some of you lot are interested, and you're getting to know engines. You're interested in engines. You want to get to know them, how they work. There's a blob on the bloody lens. Let me fix that. Oh man, that happened the other day when I was doing a bit of cleaning, and I sprayed a load of brake cleaner and degreaser all over you. Anyway, I know some of you are interested. You're getting to know engines. Normally when people buy a Nitro car or a model car with an engine on it, whether it's 1/5 scale or Nitro, they've got an interest and a background in engines in general, yeah. So they like engines, so they buy a little car. But there's a lot of people I've noticed, they're young or maybe they're not young, but they have no previous experience of engines, but they all of a sudden want to buy a nitro car and they don't understand it well. And in my opinion, before you can use something, you need to understand how it works. Just like driving a real car. People that get in it that drive a manual, you know, they just think, well, let the left pedal up and the car goes. I have to press it in order to change a gear. And when I don't press it all the way, it crunches. And if I do it too quickly, it'll stop the engine and I won't be able to go anywhere and I've got to restart it. It's all very well knowing that. That's the fundamental basics of it. But if you understand the clutch plate, or if you understand that the pedal pushes fluid or pulls a cable, depending, for a slave cylinder, or simply just a cable that goes to the fork, the clutch fork, and it pushes the clutch pad out with some springs, and that means there's a gap between the clutch and the flywheel. That means you stop, and when you let the clutch up, it then pushes the clutch disc up against the flywheel, which then makes that spin with the engine. If you understand all of that, it makes the way that you drive the car better, because you understand what's going on when you do certain things. It's like if you understand how the synchro mesh and everything works inside a gearbox, you understand how to change the gear better than just, you know, jam it in where you want it to go. You understand that you can feel the little gears and the cogs moving, and you can just slip that gear into place if you understand how it works. A little bit off topic, but if you understand how your nitro engine works, or at least some of how it works from this video anyway, you'll understand why it doesn't start when it doesn't start, why it runs the way it runs when it runs the way it runs, and you'll also understand how to look after it better, because a lot of people, they just start it up and rev it flat out, but you'll understand that it's a little engine, you know, it's got a little personality and a little piston in there that's about the same size as your finger. Look. So, going at 40 or 50,000 RPM, which is a lot. A lot. Anyway, I wasn't intending on giving anybody any kind of lesson, because I'm the last person on the planet that can give anybody any type of lessons. But I just wanted to show you that because I thought it was pretty cool. So I'm going to have a look around now. I haven't got a lot of time left this evening. I'm running out of time desperately at the moment. But if I'll have a focus on that. That's slightly rounded. The Allen key does go in there, but it's, you know, it's on the verge of going altogether. So I think I'll have to go through the little pot, try and find a couple more of those, and I can put that back together. But then this is pretty good then, pretty happy with that, very nice. Perhaps after Christmas I might see if I can get a different engine for it, you know, like I can't seem to find it. I thought you could get T15s new. I was very, very mistaken. I've looked everywhere and you can't get T15s new. I don't know why I thought you could, but you can't. I've looked everywhere. Model Sport, Wheel Spin Models, and all the other model shops, you know, that I can think of. I've even just searched it on Google, and I can't find a brand new. I'm not on about eBay brand new. I'm on about from a model shop, a brand sealed box, a T15. So you can get the G30 or 3.0, whatever you want to call it. I think I might get one of those and put those in it. Maybe after Christmas, once all the Christmas expenses have gone and I can recover from being absolutely skint. Maybe I might treat myself and get a G30 for it, and that way it'll have a new engine. I can run it in again, and I know it's going to be a bit powerful, and I know a lot of people are going to say about the diffs and that. Look, it is what it is. I just kind of feel like putting a new engine in it, so if I can afford to do that after Christmas, I think I probably will. I've properly got the Rush bug again. If you get a chance to go and get yourself a Rush Evo, or just an old school Rush, not necessarily an Evo, the older one, the original Rush, go and get one. Yeah, if you find one on eBay or someone selling one on Bookface, just get it, because it's brilliant. And once you've restored it and made it work how it's supposed to work, it'll be the best car that you've ever had and probably will ever have. I guarantee it. Just putting me the lipos and a storage charge. Getting them. I'm not going to be using these now for another couple of, well, probably months. So everything's going into a storage charge. That charger's at it, I think. It won't do nothing for some reason. It just wants to charge everything at 400 milliamp. This one's doing well. This is my home charger, the X2 Pro from GT Power. Very, very good charger. So all them ones are all, even the nickel metal hydrates, they're on a 50% charge. Happy days, man. Got to look after what you've got. Always be grateful and look after what you've got. Oh yeah, so what did everyone do for Halloween? Do you lot celebrate Halloween? Because Halloween's just gone. I'm filming this a few days after Halloween. What did you lot do for it? Did you do anything interesting? Did you go and do that trick-or-treating thing what a lot of people do? I don't like that, really, myself, because I think it's just begging. Isn't it funny? You spend all your life as a kid being told never to take sweets from strangers. And then when you're an adult and you've got children, you always say never take sweets from strangers. But then for Halloween, we encourage them to go round to strangers' houses, knock on their doors, and ask them for sweets. I think it's... Humans are bloody mad, I'll tell you that now. They just... We don't make any sense, do we, humans? We just do not make any sense whatsoever. But anyway, regardless of that, did you go around begging for sweets? If you did, put it in the comments. Let me know what you done. Did you dress up? I didn't do a lot. I just dressed up as a clown and stood on the street corner. Righty tighty, so I've been looking through my little drawer of nuts and bolts and other things and stuff, whatever I find in there, and I've managed to find, they're the two old ones, and I've managed to find these two. That one's a little bit shorter than the rest, but I think it'll be fine. I've tested them out, they go in the block, no problem at all. Let me see if I can show you the difference between the two, just so you can understand what I'm talking about. Some of you might not understand what a rounded off head looks like, or is even, you know, you might think, what the bloody hell is this bloke on about? He seems to be on about a load of rubbish. The one on the left is the new one, and I think it's actually brand new. It's a very good one. It's one I found in that drawer. And the one on the right is the old one that I said is slightly rounded. Now you might be able to tell that the left one, look how perfect the little, well, the lines and the corners, you know, the shape is, you know, the hexagon or whatever that is. Look at it, it's perfect, isn't it? Whereas the one on the right, it's round, isn't it? You know, there's nothing left to that. Now, that is the Allen key there. And you can see on the end of it, it's like a star. So that has to be perfect to match up. The minute that starts to round, it's just going to spin inside the top of that, and you're not going to be able to get it out or do it up. And so it's quite important that before that got bad, it's important that I replace it with a good one, because otherwise it could be a few weeks down the line I've got to put an Allen key on it just the wrong way and it rounds it off, and then I've had it, you know. So when they start to get rounded, you have to really push on them, and then you have to gently turn. You can't just turn it and undo it. You've got to be gentle, otherwise that will round even more. But now I've got 4 good ones, so I'm going to put the head back on. Just for your own information, these T15s don't have any shims on them at all. They're just at the button like that, no shims. So just thought I'd tell you that, just in case you was wondering. Anyway, plenty of oil in there now, nicely oiled up. Let's put it all back together, and that is that, ready to rock and roll. Right, you lot, I'm putting this together, and a something just popped into my head, and I thought I'd better tell you lot, just in case that you don't do this and, you know, one day and you cause yourself a bit of a problem. So for one, I'm not going to take it off again now, but when you put the head back on and you put the button on as well, make sure that everything's clean. Make sure every sealing face is clean, because if it's a bit dirty or it's got a little bit of dirt in it, you know, when you put it down and you hear it go crunch, that's a bit of dirt and it's not going to seal properly. And you want the best seal possible around there, because it keeps the compression and it keeps the fire inside the engine. If it leaks out, you're going to be running low on power and it's just not going to run very well. And the other thing is, put the bolts in loose. Yeah, just do them up, just so you start to feel them get a little bit tight about there. And then put another one in and put them all in. And then you do that one, well, it doesn't have to be that one, but for example, you do that one up a bit tight, that one up a bit tight, that one up a bit tight, that one up a bit tight. Okay? And what that does is it pulls the head and the button down evenly, because if you was to do that one all the way up nice and tight, the head is going to be slightly kinked that way, not enough for you to see it, probably. It could be, but probably not. But it'll be enough, whereas it might not make a seal around this side. And when you do this one up, you might think, hey, I'll pull it back. But it won't, because this side's tight. So when you do this one up, it ain't going to be able to put it down. And the same, it's going to be uneven. So by doing it a bit in a cross fashion, some people do it in a circle. Some people go in a circle round, but that's no good, because then you're doing that one and then that one. So this side is going to be tight and this side is going to be loose. It's going to be uneven. It's got to be cross from one another. And then you just do them bit by bit by bit by bit by bit until you get them to the point where they are tight, and then you just go, yep, tight, and then you go, yep, tight, and then you go like that, yep, tight, etc, etc. Thought I'd better mention it, because again, and I thought I'd better explain it the best I can, because it's all very well saying do them up in a cross pattern and then leaving it alone, but if I explain why, hopefully you understand a bit better the reason why, and it means that you will do it, because the amount of times I've taken things apart and things have not been done up evenly, and that's the reason for the problems. There we go, absolutely beautiful. Managed to find a red aerial stick for it as well, aerial tube. Nice and thick, that one, so it fits in there in the little bit properly and doesn't all flap around. So hopefully I won't lose it. If I lose it, I'll be quite upset, because I haven't got any more like that. So hopefully that's not going to be lost. Now I have got somewhere, I've got some slick tyres on the original HPI rims. They came with an original rush that I had a while ago, and I took them off. And I foolishly, very foolishly, sold that rush with original cross pattern tyres on, which I wish I didn't do now. I wish I'd have sold it with the slicks on, so I got 2 pairs of cross patterns. But it doesn't matter. The person that bought that from me, whoever that was, got a really good car there and a good set of tyres. But I'm going to have a dig around to see if I can find the slicks, because they look a lot better than these white tyres and these stupid big ones. They do look better. They're on the proper HPI rims, but with slicks rather than, and I think that'll be good. But for now, it's perfect. So there we go. Anyway, you lot, thanks for watching. I'm out of here now. I've run out of time again. I don't get a lot of time to sort of do stuff for myself, because you know how life is. You know the way life goes. Yeah, you just have stuff to do. So, you only get sort of a little, maybe 20 minutes to do something that you think, I want to go and do that. It's not important, but I want to go and do it. So, anyway, thanks for watching. Treat people nice. Treat people how you want to be treated. And we should have a nice, happy life. I keep saying it, and I'm going to keep on saying it until if everyone gets along, and you can walk down the street and people will smile at you and say hello. Because at the moment, you walk down the street, people are just looking at the floor. And unfortunately, that's just the way it is. I think I heard someone talk the other day at work, and they were on about the northern and southern divide. Up north, everyone says, hello, how you doing, blah, 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 which I think is true, because we go up north quite a lot. We've got family up north. We go up there, and everyone's quite friendly. You go out on the street, people go, all right, you walk down the path, don't even know who they are. They don't know me, I don't know them, but they go, all right, morning, how are you? Go into the shop, morning, how are you? Down here, down south, you walk down the street, everyone's looking down on that. They don't want to look at you. They got their phone in their hand, walking like a zombie. You go into a shop, say morning, and you get a... That's all you get. Other people in shops, supermarkets, all looking at the floor. So let's all just get along and talk to each other. Yeah, stop ignoring each other. Talk to people, man. We're all the same. Just talk to each other. See you later on. All the best.